Hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everyone who's joined me already. I can't run this channel without you. Disney are back in the news again. What a big surprise. And they are defying certain orders. Now, before I can actually get into this content for this particular video, once again, I will specify, because people seem to think that I really hate Disney. I'm going to be quite clear. I don't actually hate Disney. I actually enjoy their past content that they have put out. I just don't like the route that they have been going down. I think it has been pretty self-destructive, and it is showing with what they are doing financially. These live actions, they're bleeding money at this point, and that is just a fact. So with the Orange Man now back in charge, there have been major pushes into looking at DEI. One of those biggest pushes of the DEI movement is, of course, from the House of Mouse, that is Disney. We've seen other companies try and turn themselves around since the Orange Man came back into power. For example, Facebook is a good one. We're now getting some more transparency with Facebook, and about time too, not that I actually use Facebook anymore. However, Disney seem to think that they are absolutely above this, of course, naturally, because why wouldn't the House of Mouse be above this? I have an article here from That Park Place. Let's take a look. Disney defies Trump order on DEI in SEC filing amidst to tying bonuses to race and sex-based factors, appears to list diversity as a skill. At a time in which President Trump is slashing DEI initiatives and major corporations are following suit, Disney has doubled down on its commitment to diversity. How does Disney define diversity? In its recent annual filing with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, the Walt Disney Company showcased unwavering commitment to its controversial diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI agenda. While companies like Amazon, Walmart, Boeing, and Ford are moving away from such initiatives amidst growing national scrutiny, Disney is doing the opposite, proudly incorporating DEI into its board and selection process and executive bonuses. Of course, they are doing that because the House of Mouse seem to be under some kind of impression that they're above everyone else at the moment and that they can get away with things like this. The issue that I have with DEI is that whilst we actually do need to have equality at work and people should be entitled to work, I would never begrudge someone a job, it actually gets to the point where it actually becomes no longer who is best for the job, and it actually ostracizes groups of people. It becomes extremely narrow. Strikingly, Disney made no public announcement or press release accompanying the filing this year, raising eyebrows and questions about whether the company is trying to downplay its ongoing DEI focus in the face of public criticism. Disney lists diversity as a skill and valid experience. Disney's SEC filing emphasizes the diversity of its board of directors, boasting that 50% of its members are considered diverse, with 40% non-male and 30% non-white. It's clear from this filing that Disney considers anyone who isn't a white male to be diverse. Can I ask a question? Is anyone actually surprised by that statement? They're going for diversity, equity, and inclusion over experience and skill and knowledge. I have on the screen the board diversity figures. CEO, CFO experience is 50%, independence is 90%, independent directors, that is 10 years, is a 6.5 year average, and that is based on 0 to 5 years, 6 to 10 years, and 10 plus years. Diversity is 50% diverse, and then we have 40% for gender and 30% for race and ethnicity. That is really, really high. Continuing on with the article, however, the filing doesn't stop at celebrating the board's demographics. It shockingly lists diversity itself as a skill and leadership qualification, grouping it with legitimate credentials like finance, cybersecurity, and strategic transformation. The absurdity of equating race or gender with hard-earned expertise should not be lost on anyone. Under the section titled Corporate Governance and board matters, Disney explicitly states that board members are evaluated based on how well they reflect the diversity of the company's shareholders, employees, customers, and the communities in which it operates. In other words, identity politics, not necessarily professional accomplishments, play a significant role in determining who sits on the Disney board. This approach may resonate with activists, but it flies in the face of traditional merit-based selection, where qualifications, skills, and proven experience determine leadership. Treating diversity as a checkbox for skills and experience demeans individuals' actual achievements by prioritizing immutable characteristics over true competence. Do you think that these people are actually aware that they are being hired as a checkbox rather than based on their skill and their input and how well they perform in their job? If they don't actually realize that, then they've actually been manipulated and discriminated against, theoretically. That's just speculation and my opinion, of course. It also flies in the face of President Trump's inaugural remarks. This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life, Trump said in the Capitol building after taking the oath of office. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. Disney apparently doesn't agree. Bob Iger's bonus is tied to DEI performance. Perhaps most troubling is Disney's admission that its DEI agenda directly impacts the bonuses of its most senior executives, including CEO Bob Iger. Among the 3 other performance factors used to calculate annual bonuses for named executive officers, Disney lists diversity and inclusion. This is given equal weighing to synergy and storytelling and creativity, placing DEI on par with actual business performance metrics. This article does actually talk about Disney's filing the Diversity and Inclusion OPF, the talking about culture of respect, diversity in executive ranks, and talking about multicultural tenets inside out to Deadpool and Wolverine, and various other things, which I highly recommend that you read. It's actually a very interesting read, this article. Should you wish to, of course. It is linked below. But the article does actually go on to say this. While these achievements might be spun as DEI wins, critics could argue they're more about pandering to progressive social trends than delivering for shareholders. Worse still, tying executive bonuses to DEI goals incentivizes prioritizing political narratives over financial performance, leaving shareholders to foot the bill if these efforts fail to resonate with audiences. And the article also says, Disney's continued embrace of DEI, from prioritizing identity politics in board selection to trying executive bonuses to ideological goals, showcases a company that refuses to adjust to changing national attitudes as other corporation recognizes the growing backlash against wokeness and pivot accordingly. Disney's insistence on this path that rejects merit-based hiring risks alienating investors, employees, and customers who are tired of having politics injected into their entertainment. Which is extremely true. I completely agree with this. We are tired of having politics injected into our entertainment. If you want to push the message in, make sure to integrate things naturally into the plot, so then we can be oblivious to it should we actually not realize it. That is actually there. I mean, come on, it's not that hard. We don't need a strong independent woman for a princess like Snow White. What we want is actually a proper fairy tale, good old-fashioned Disney. Of course, Snow White is not going to be that great. We just want to have the original. But no, you have to go down these agendas within the actual films themselves, and you're putting the agendas into your staffing structure as well, and therefore it is bleeding through into your content. It's surprising how well your things do when you don't actually put anything into your content that people would consider extremely pushy. Now, Snow White, of course, naturally is due to be released in March 2025, so I guess financially we will see what will happen to it. I am not expecting them to be able to break even on this because they have done so many reshoots on it already. They are already going to get their tax haven because they filmed it here in the UK, but I really do think that they should go to the cinema with this, not to Disney Plus. And maybe, just maybe, this will teach them a lesson, and maybe the Orange Man will actually see about putting his foot down with them and working together. Maybe they can just turn it around and go back to the company that they once actually were. Well, that's what I think. Let me know what you think. Chat about it. Don't shout about it. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. I will be back with another video on Doctor Who Sunday at 4 p.m. I will see you then. Bye bye.